Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here for Friday. It's UFO Friday. It's Happy Friday. It's Friday-licious. Okay, so let's do a little UFO thought first. So I'm going to give you a challenge to work on a UFO today through the weekend. You can work on it a whole week. You can work on it as long as you want, but at least work on it today or tomorrow if that works better. Okay, so UFO. Get something that is close to being done and finish it, or try to finish it, move it forward, or go to something that's very, very old if you feel up to it. I know sometimes you have to be in the mood for that. You just can't like jump in because you're like, I can't make a decision. But if you feel like a good decision day, get something really old and take a look at it and see, do you still want to work on it? If you don't, maybe you make a decision. Maybe you gift it to somebody who is interested in working on it. Maybe you have a guild that will finish things and use them for charity, whatever. Okay, so for me, I have for the past few days been trying to power out these blocks. So there's going to be 12 of them, and up on my secondary design wall, which is over there, pinned onto the red and white quilt, are 4 of the blocks, 5, and then I sweatshop sewed, like I showed you, the rest of the blocks. And I am super close. All I have is this, and then these blocks will be done, and I'll be able to set them. I'm just going to do a simple setting with sashing and cornerstones. If you did not watch my video yesterday on sashing and cornerstones, be sure you do that. And I think my sashing will be the beach, I call them the beach babies, the beach baby fabric. I think that will be what the sashing is, and also a border, so that these kind of like float on it. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if that's what I have to get it on the wall to look at it. I have yet to finish that guy, so he's also got to be finished, the Liberty with the red, white, and blue checkerboard. All right, so those are my things that I'm focused on. So I have to tell you that I have a few other announcements here that are super fun, that are coming up, sew-alongs. But I also want to tell you that behind the scenes, what I can't show you for the next 2 months is I'm working on another book. This is a little sooner than I usually work on the books, but the timelines, this has happened to work best because of the way it's taking everything so long to produce right now. You know, it's still having supply line chains and all that kind of back stuff that's but anyways, I am working on that, which means sometimes I'm not going to get things, you know, if my best intentions may not happen because I've got to be making these other quilts for the book. Like the basket and blooms. I didn't get it basted yet, so I can't show you how I'm going to free motion. I can't even free motion quilt it, but I'm going to try to get that basted this weekend so that I can do a little free motion quilting for you. You know, I have videos on free motion quilting. I've got the bubble video. Just go to the search bar here at YouTube and put free motion quilting, and you'll see all the times that I've shared it. So it's not, you know, I have hundreds and hundreds of videos here. Just put a search in the search bar what you want to see. All right, I also want to show you the little big stitch quilting on this little pillow top. So let's do that first, and then I'll tell you about the new things coming up. And exciting! Get to announce them. Okay, so for this big stitch quilting, now I don't do a lot of handwork. When I first started my business, I did hand applique, and I did lots of hand applique, but I was never really a hand quilter. I did a little bit, but it's just so slow, and you can't meet deadlines easily when you're hand quilting things. So I've done big stitch here and there, and it's always been a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. So I thought I would just do it again with this little pillow. And I'm using the 12 weight Aurifil, which are a little thicker. The 28 will be give you texture. Use the 28 weight, which is the gray spools. These are the red spools. And you can also big stitch with 50 weight. It's just going to be a thinner stitch. And being that, let me just show you a 50 weight one that I have. So I did this piece in 2007. First, let me just show it to you. What it is just a great piece of fabric. Some piece of, you know, those sort of feature fabrics, the ones that have a great big print on it and they're so awesome, and then some borders. And it was done for a book, I believe for a book. on beginner quilts that I did way back, my first beginner quilt book. And so there it is. The big stitch quilting is done with 50 weight, and so I'm going to show you it here. I'm going to put it down on the table. We'll do a little close-up. And I love just doing I use painter's tape to just mark it out, and here it is. So the stitching is done with a little bit darker thread. So it's got like a navy thread there with these fun dogs. And then I stitch right in the edge here. So I stitch right in the edge. This corner I did like a fan. So you can see I did out to the point and then just marked off 2 more on either side. And then on the red, it's just some easy lines like this. Now if this was going to be used a lot, this was done for a book, if it was going to be used a lot, I probably want to cross hatch it, or either cross hatch it like this or do some vertical lines this way, because this is a long strip of batting that could get messed up with a lot of use and a lot of washing. It could start to shred in there a little bit because it's not secured at all. But that is what the 50 weight, it's got a really light, the 50 weight has a really light look and feel to it. So I'm using the 12 for what I'm going to show you now, and I do it very simply. This is just a very simple short little demo. You can go out and search big stitch quilting. You will find books, you will find videos. Lots of people do it. So I pulled whatever big eye needle I had in this little case that I have with me. So I don't know what needle it is, but it's a big eye needle. It's a little thicker needle than I would like. So here's the needle. The shaft of it is a little thick for coming through. I prefer to have to look for one that's a little thinner. So I just put the batting on the back. For this pillow, I am just going to not have a backing fabric. So it's just 2 layers, which makes it a little bit less tough to pull through. And then when I'm working, the big stitch is just like a long running stitch. And the biggest thing you want to do is just try to make it even. No matter what distance you are doing, just try to make it even. So if you want to try it out first, I would say just do 1 stitch at a time. So this is all I'm doing. It's just a running stitch. Put your needle down, scoot it along underneath, and then push it back up. And then try to keep the length of your stitch even and the distance between the stitches even. And that's a big stitch with the 12 weight. Now if I did 28 weight, it would have a little thinner look to it. Now I'm now at the end, right? I'm at the end of this blue. So I'm going to just take the needle. You can see the back here. I'm going to take the needle and pull it out. And then because my next blue is not that far away, it's up here that I want to be, I'm going to just scoot between the batting. And this is a pillow, so like it's not that, this is going to be covered. This is going to be inside the pillow form, so I can have a little bit of a loose thread back there because nobody's going to snag it, versus if I was, on this thing. Whoops, I got to get in if I was on that, I can't scoot along. Okay, so now I'm back here, and I like to either go right to left or go from where I am away from me. So those are the 2 ways I like to hold it. And I have to, my left hand is still not that great. It doesn't have a lot of strength. We're working on swelling right now, so not strength. So I have to scooch everything up in there, and I have to be careful I don't make it ache. So this small size is perfect because it's not too big. It doesn't make my hand ache like a whole quilt would do. So now if I have been going along for a little bit and I'm feeling like, oh, I can do 2 stitches on this needle, I just bank them up on the needle like that. So I've just put the 2 running stitches in and then pull. And every so often I tug it a little bit so that it gives that nice little texture, which I think is great. When you see that little texture. Okay, and then when I'm done, I will just tie the knot in the back. I will change colors, so you can see there is the orangey stuff you can see on the cat there. Did I do a black one yet? I don't think I did a black one yet. No. So I just did the blues. Whoops, let me pull you out. Just did the blue and the orange. Okay, so that is a little demo. So basically I'm taking the needle, I'm going down and up and down and up. I'm just doing a running stitch. So you can take a regular piece of fabric and do a running stitch and practice that way before you have the thickness of the batting. Now this is also just a batting scrap that I had. So it is a little bit dense. I think it's warm and natural. It feels like it. It's fairly dense. I would prefer a different batting. I figured for one small square, I will just deal with this because it was already cut. It was already an extra that I had, but I would prefer something else that is not quite so hard to push through by hand. So batting does make a huge difference. So if you're having trouble and it feels like the batting's really thick, it probably is. So change to a different batting. Go get some other type of batting to use. I think like the Happy Cloud that the Fat Quarter Shop has is not such a dense, heavy, thick batting. So it's a little easier to use. Now we got two things coming up. Yay! Okay, first one is the announced today, the Fat Quarter Shop's mystery that has been on the calendar that you have not been able to tell you about because the fabric hadn't come in. So fabric gets in and is called All the Trimming. So it is a Christmas in September so along. It was supposed to be Christmas in July, but it's Christmas in September so along, and today everything is there. So you can see the picture and down at my website and down below here are a link to get the supply list. There is a kit, which I'm sure will go very fast because it's the darling fabric that it was in the Sew Sampler box. The other thing is there's a cross stitch. Yes, there's a cross stitch portion for those of you who are loving that. It looks super cute, and there's a darling little needle minder of holly and berries. It's so cute. All right, the other thing is, drum roll, my Happy Everything Sew Along to go with my book, the Holiday Celebrations book, my newest book. We're going to do a sew along and take pieces, just blocks, takes blocks from that, and plus I'm doing a few other little things in there for it, and we are going to start on October 4. So I'm getting so that's coming up. I don't have the sheet yet for you because I need to get it edited, but I wanted to tell you so that you know what's coming. You know I didn't forget because it's been on there. I just need it to be a little further out because of this book that I'm working on, so I can't really bank them up right together because I need to do other things. So there, excitement on our Friday. And my goal is to get this guy basted. This basted, those blocks finished, that thing done so it can go to the spa. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. See you online.